adjust this a little bit. There we go. Nice. Okay. So, for some reason that cuts off the very hard edge, but I think that makes it right there. Hold on, let's see. There we go, close enough. So, okay, good morning. This is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching. It is Monday morning, the 24th of June. I've got to read this. I hate it just as much as everybody else. So, important disclaimer and reminder for all traders and investors. The webinar is for educational purposes only. Not a recommendation to buy or sell any particular financial instrument. Equities, futures, options, and currency trading have large potential rewards, but also large potential risks. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the futures and options markets. Absolutely do not trade with money you can't afford to lose. The website is neither a solicitation nor an offer to buy or sell equities, futures, or options. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those discussed in this channel. Past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. Absolutely consult your registered financial advisor and your risk trading plan before ever investing or trading any financial instrument. Okay. So there's a couple of things that are important. First of all, let's just look at the basic facts on the NASDAQ, right? We are in trend up and nothing has changed for that fact. As a matter of fact, if you look from the most recent swing low, let's fix this. There you go. If you look from the most recent swing low, grab your 50-60 retrace. You go from here. This is not the tool I needed. Sorry, guys. There we go. Should this do it? There we are. No, didn't like that. There we go. Pop up to the current high. Okay. And that picture 50-60 retrace in this neighborhood. There's the 62. There's the 50. There's the 382. So the first thing I'd have on my radar is that in this area, this, let's just call it 19,680 down to 19,240, and specifically at those 50-60 retrace, 382, 50, and 62 retraces, there's going to be attempts at responsive buying in that area. Secondly, we all know from years of experience in day trading that in order to bust a leg and go, oh, this thing's in trouble, you have to get behind the 62 retrace. So we all know that in order for the market to really gain acceleration to the downside, we need to trade below 19,240. Until then, buyers are in overall control from this perspective, right? And obviously, going all the way back to last September, buyers are in overall control. And trading to the long side has been easier than trading to the short side. Why? Because we get very few days to the downside where we just go straight up and close near the highs. Okay, you can see even and you can see that over here to the left, when we decline, you'll see how few red arrows actually close at the low of the day. We get a lot of V's back up. So, easy strategy, right? Focus on the long side of the formula, right? So, there's nothing wrong with the short side of the formula. It's just a harder side of the formula, right? So number two, that makes things pretty interesting, right? Because we're not broken down, there's constantly going to be people looking to get long until it's obvious they can't get long, and then the danger spot. Whenever we have a strong up move like this, there's always those one-day wonders which just plow to the downside. So how will you know? So there's a couple ways you'll know if it's ugly, right? First of all, we'll be trading below prior day's low. So you can write down on your journals right? The trading below roughly 19,920, which is where we're trading right now, and holding underneath for half an hour, the inability to regain that level would be a clue that we're potentially trend day down, right? Next clue would be if you look at your 5-minute and 15-minute charts. So here I'm gonna post these levels, the relevant ones. Out. I'll post them like this. Some of these are inaccurate, so let me get rid of them because I just haven't updated them down here. This is orange. Hold on 1 second. And then these should be highlighted. This, naked volume points of control, prior day's lows, and then I'm going to pit them on the 62 retraces. I'm going to make those zones as well down here if it gets sloppy for some reason. Those are pretty much set, and I'm pretty damn confident when we hit each of those levels, you'll get a response, right? And so let's print this out. Globex lows dropped a little bit. We'll just adjust it at the open, right? And so we'll get to these fine levels. There we go. I seriously doubt we touch any of this today, but if we do, like this could be touched. It's 200 points down. This area could get hit. I'm very confident that if we got to that 665, I'd be looking for both ODTE calls, weekly calls, and intraday long future positions at that level. And there you go, that's posted. We can just minimize this. Oh, but hold on, I wanted just one thing that I do not have here. No bueno. No bueno. Let me see. Is it behind here? It would be important for me to do this. Chart number 6. There we go. Okay. Again, we'll make adjustments there right before the open, right? So now, I want to do a bit of a refresher of what exactly we're looking for. Okay, so number one, if you can't read that the market's in a downtrend and we're starting to grab this bottom rail, right? What we are looking for is I am looking for the first phase, or the first thing that I am looking for on this chart is off this 24 tick, the purple bar. Okay, why? The purple bar and the pink bar up tell me that we are hypothetically close to exhaustion and to start looking for reversal signals. Okay, so step one, right, and following the process is just basic. Look for a pink or purple bar on the 24 tick. We're not leaving that. Next, the Keltner channel off the 24 tick is the Keltner channel that I think matters the most for our time frame of trading. And so I'd like those purple and pink to come as close to or beyond those two channels as possible. Okay, next, once I get those, what am I looking for? The strongest thing that I am looking for, here I'll show you on a contra, okay? If I get this purple bar over here and I go, oh, I'm looking for a reversal. So I'm looking for two things when that occurs. The thing that I'm most looking for is one of these white arrows up that coincide with the no supply, no demand. So the yellow is the old purple, right? So pink or purple, and I want that, and I want it to occur on either the first bar or the second bar. This is not about capturing every trade. This is about capturing the trades that work. And so I either want that here, or I want it on the smaller 15 tick bar, right? So you'd go, but Simon, you got it here and it stopped. Yes, I want it to form like this and not close below, so I have a nice tight stop, so that if I am wrong and I get this setup, and obviously if I had taken that setup, I would be going, hey, I think we're going higher. That would always be behind the back of my mind before I make any trading decision, right? I would go, hey, I think we're going higher. Therefore, if I thought we were going higher and I was going to take risk, this now becomes the best way for me to take risk, right? So I'm going to show you a little bit different story. I'm going to go back over here. This is scalping that you're turning into swings, okay? So then I get over here. That's right here, right? And I see the purple bar form, right? Where this green line is where that bar is formed. I know that it's formed, right? I get that same trade at 7:05. I get the purple bar with the pink bar with the arrow on it. Once that bar prints, it doesn't unprint, and I go long. Now I get paid, right? So if I use those two as my example, this one and this one, those are now both of these examples. Both of these examples are excellent trades. The reason they're both excellent is this one paid me with minimal risk. Let's call this was about 10 points. This was about 10 points. I was wrong on my read here. For whatever reason that I thought the market was going up, right? I was wrong. Not only that, when you look at this chart in general, right? I'm looking for two things to occur on this chart. I'm looking for the arrow, and then after the arrow, I'm looking for the no supply, no demand, and I don't want it to get behind the no supply, no demand. Now, on a choppy day, I'm going to struggle to stay break even to slightly positive. I already know that. I am. Some days I'll get the turn, and I won't get paid, right? So, but if you look at this short example that's right in front of us, right? I only have 10 points of risk. The idea is to get 5 to 7 points off to reduce the cost of the stop. And if you look through this chart on the bars, if we use the most stringent requirement, the first most stringent requirement on this is that the no supply, no demand, and the arrow appear on the turn bar. So if that is my requirement, right, and not out of consolidation, right? If that is my requirement, I have 1, 2, and that is it, right? Those are my two options this morning. If you want to go back and see what that looked like on Friday, here's coming into New York lunch. So here's an example through this morning where you would have had 0 trades, right? It just didn't print. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Let's see if it printed at all. Where it was the first bar. And then I'm going to give you the plan B. It may have not printed. Oh, there you go. Okay, that's the most stringent requirement right there, and it pays great. The second version of this, you'll notice I'm explaining it very slowly. So I need purple bar on the 24. Then I need to come over and look over here, is that if I get the arrow, obviously I'm not shorting at the bottom of the channel, right? So if I get the purple arrow or the red arrow, and then on the second bar I get the no supply, no demand, that's still a 10-point stop. So if you look at it from and not out of consolidation. If you take it in consolidation, the stop's the low. That's the fix to that, by the way. So now if I do that, and I go back through that same trade without even looking for the purple bar, right? I'm not looking for the purple bar. Okay, so now it can occur arrow on the second bar, arrow on the first bar, followed by no supply, no demand on the second bar, etc., etc. So now if I go through that same process, right, I'm just going to start here for whatever reason there. 1, 2, 3, stop. It stopped because it got behind the pink bar, right? Third bar up, no dice. 4, turn bar, arrow, yellow. 5, turn bar, arrow, yellow second, right? I'm not counting this, I wouldn't have taken it. I'm not shorting at the low. Short. Short and stopped, even though the trade worked. No trade, even though I like the trap. Long. Short. Okay, that's how that would have worked. So what am I doing? 24 tick, purple or yellow. Then I come over here and I want the arrow. My first choice is on the turn bar, just like this. My second choice is like this. Either way, it's a 10-point stop. Okay? It's a 10-point stop, and you're trying to get anywhere from 5 to 10 points and then get the extension. The purple and yellow or pink bars, depending on purple or yellow, depending on which chart you have, will help with the extension part of the formula, and everyone in the room already knows that. So there's nothing to extend or extenuate out of that. Okay. What there is to change now, when I'm working on this, hold on, let me get this bigger. Hold on one sec. Simplifying things. If I see this green dot, okay, see this green dot, and I get the rest of my setup. So the only problem with this green dot is it does not stick until this second bar is printed. Then it doesn't reprint, but it can reprint. So always on the second bar. If I can get this first bar reprinted, see how I get 1, 2, and then I get the backside test of the turn bar, then I'm fine with taking the entry there. It essentially creates a little zone entry. Bam, bam. On the third or fourth bar, I want a backside test of it and roll, right? Same parameters. I don't want it to close behind this bar right here, and then I want it to roll to the downside. I am looking for those little blue dots, right? Again, right here when they push down, bam, bam. I want this retested. I want that bar to hold for the lift. Again, where do I want it? After the purple bar, or pink bar, or yellow, as the case may be, on the 24 tick, right? And get to the edges. I'm not trying to turn y'all into scalp every turn, scalp every inch, or even catch every move. It just doesn't matter, right? And then, finally, if I get this trade on the 75 cent, like this, down bar, backside test the down bar, roll to the downside, I am looking for that, and it's better if it occurs on the 50 cent chart, which is the one in the middle, and you'll see that it does occur, and you'll see when it does occur what I need, because I don't want to take it early. Let me assure you, this will print and reprint all the way down. You can't go, I've got a green bar, it must be green bar 2 up, green bar 2 down, okay? And then what I want is this bar, the bottom of this bar, so I'm going to rest an order sitting right over here, and I'm going to hope they come back and tag it. You can put a point underneath if you want to make sure, right? And I want to stop up here. That trade on the, excuse me, 1, 2, excuse me, it's here. It's 27 against 42. Okay, so it's a 15-point stop on the 50 cent chart. It's about a 10-point stop on the 15 cent chart. But what this tells me is once this sticks, we're likely to roll the other way. I will demonstrate. Okay, and again, I hope to have this distributed this week, but I'm not 100% certain. Okay. Printed. Let me erase the lines. Printed. Roll down. Printed. Slight roll down, right? It was on trend up there. Printed. Stopped, right? That one did not respond. And what you'll notice is once they've printed, you're close to an exhaustion period anyways, right? Printed. Rolls up. I would not want it printed like that. If I was short, I'd look to reverse. Printed. Roll down. Printed. Roll down. It doesn't always retest the first bar, but it gives me a very good indication of which way we're planning to roll, and now I can use the 15 tick as an alternate way to enter the trade. Printed, right? Printed doesn't always roll right up. You still have to pay attention if we're rolling to the downside. Printed gives you so at the end of the day, it's the same problem we always have, right? The process works great as long as we're not going straight down, as long as we're not going straight up. And when you combine, even if you combine these pieces, like let's say I got over here, and I go, oh, we're probably going lower. Well, I'd like a backside test. Why did you get the backside test? Well, now I can get, oh wait, by the way, the blue arrows and the purple arrows are very good. Again, I would like a no supply, no demand to roll off of those. So this, right? So this would become my entry right here, or a backside test in the first bar after I get the no supply, no demand. Over here, right, I go, oh, this is in effect, right? I'm hoping for a retest of this bar. I don't get it. I can get aggressive on this bar. I get this over here, right? I get this over here. This is a no trade for me. That just goes under too bad. That kind of sucks, right? Because I don't want to be so aggressive that I'm constantly getting stopped trying to find it. But I know to not constantly press my longs until I get reset over here, right? And all this will melt into place. And then the last piece is when I'm getting my signals to either look for short, right? Look for short. Now these become much more powerful if my short indicator lines up. The only thing I'll add too is make sure you get at least 2 waves up or 2 waves down before you try anything other than a scalp on the contra side. So I don't have anything else to add. I'm going to adjust the Globex. Was that helpful, guys? Does anyone have any questions over that? I'll call it out in the room as I see it unfolding. Is anything confusing to anyone before I fire off? I am not trading the first half hour. It's going to let the most stops come in the first half hour. There's no question about it. None. For whatever reason, I'm going to let my brain get adjusted. So you'll notice we just traded underneath the prior day's low and trapped back in. So here we're going to adjust all this good stuff. So just take your Globex low. Move it down, Globex high stays in the same place. And then add your unfair pricing. Since we're just in a couple minutes, this is probably as close as it's going to get. Color white. So that's your overnight unfair pricing. This is your overnight unfair pricing. Big fat wide area. Hold on, Randy. Let me make sure I got your answer correct. Okay, there's the overnight unfair pricing. Okay, just to make sure I understand, the dot is on the contra bar. So yes, so to be sure, I want the dot on an up bar for the short, and I want the dot on the down bar for a long. Did that clarify? That's what I want. Yes, and I want an arrow preceding the no demand, no supply, either on it or 1 bar in front of it. And on the 24 tick, when you get all this put together, it's really both bars put all together up here. And the idea is there are going to be some times where everything's set up and the algo just doesn't fire in the order that we want it to fire to, right? I did not check econ this morning, so I'm going to check econ. Someone from the ECB speaks at 10:30. Goolsby spoke at 7:30. Dallas Fed Manufacturing at 9:30. Daly speaks at 1 o'clock. K-Series set an alarm for 12:50 p.m. Daly speaks. K-Series set an alarm for 12:50 p.m. Fed's Daily speaks.
Done.
That's all I got. And then, of course, the 4x4 chart on the 75 cent. Just stay relaxed, guys. Long week. It's middle of summer. Monday's usually the slowest. Right? Monday is usually the slowest. Right? So give yourself some grace. I really don't think we have to pound every single move. I just don't. The goal is to make your money. Find the ideal trade with all the little conditions come together. Get your dinero, get out. If you're on top step, grind those accounts out. But just keep your head straight is the most important factor. And all of this, look for the pink and the purple. Like here, if I saw this pink right here, I'd be going like, oh, so now I know I got pink. I've got the dot up. So see this right here? This right here, I would have shorted the backside test of this bar. This bar, backside test, and then I'd be looking for the extension down. I'm not shorting it. It's 8:30 in the morning. Okay? I want to repeat. I'm not shorting it. It's 8:30 in the morning. Someone else short it if you want to short it. Not my cup of tea. Right? And what I'm mostly looking for is open drive lower. I want to make sure this isn't the day they're going to come and clean house. And I want to make sure my house doesn't get cleaned in that process. And here's Globex low. I'll adjust it by tickets off. It's 18,895.75. See how that blue dot moved? All right, it's got to get 2 bars down for it to print. Going up to Friday's value area low. Volume point of control from Friday is the target. Look at ES. What you'll see is once you get 2 down is the character of the way the dome works, for those who are a little more advanced, changes. Once you get 2 down here, it can still roll against it, but it'll roll against it kind of like, like that. So that's printed now, right? So what my goal would be to sell, right, against this high. Does that make sense? When I get this, I wanted this bar tested. Now this is printed. So what I want is this bar tested, right? If I wanted to short, I want that tested in relatively quickly against that high. That goes 52 to 65. I've got the green dot printed, right? And I would like it to come back up and kind of tag that whatever that is, that 53, right, to give me an entry. And let's just call it 53 against whatever that is, 66. Doesn't always give it, sometimes just terms. No, but that's, Randy, I'm not talking about the actual trade setup. What I want is I'm trying to explain how the PA works off of this. I didn't get anything that would make me enter the trade. What I'm explaining is what happens post this gets set up. Usually once you get this first bar will get tested. This first down bar will get retested unless we just stop, flip, and roll. It's another trade. I'm sorry, you're correct. It's a different trade. But the backside test of this, should provide, up to here, should provide resistance in here if it gets tested, right? Sometimes it just turns and burns and doesn't give you what you're looking for, meaning the arrow or anything else. And let me make sure I'm on 3 days. Data. I am. Oh, that one's messed up. There we go. Or you could have entered right here on the no supply, no demand with the pink arrow there. Other people will figure out how to be more aggressive on this. I'll just keep showing the more moderate. Yeah, I see that. It's off now. So see, once this bar prints, this blue dot will be legit. What's the problem? Not down at the fourth channel. You're going to have to decide if you want to be more aggressive on it. Okay, so it leads with this, and then starts with everything, and then everything else kind of falls in behind. So this does not exist until this second bar prints, right, for the up move, and then you'd have to decide if they're going to push up for continuation or not. And obviously we know that we like to get, that's wave 1 down, get wave 1 and wave 2. If you want to be aggressive on your wave count, just use a 15 tick. That bar prints, so now that bar has printed, this bar is printed, you can take this bar, right? You can take that bar, so if this bar prints, that would be a stop on this bar, right? So I would expect a retest, and I would expect that 20 to hold. The problem is it's not outside the fourth channel, right? So like I could trade against the 20 there, right? I'm not, but I could, right? I could trade against the 20 because I know that that should generally hold, right? And if it didn't, I wouldn't want to stay in the trade anyways, right? I'd want the bottom of this to hold, right? And if it didn't, I'd want to be the heck out of it. And it all starts with, what do I want? Purple or pink bar, then I would want the rest of this to line up. So if you'll use this as your filter, you won't feel so on edge for having to look over here. Right? And I think that's a very big deal. And I would not front run it. I will reset. Trust yours, Randy. Data limiting. It's on 3 days. Here, I'll reload, recalculate. Now, okay, cool. So now I've got that purple bar, right? I know that that purple bar is legitimate, right? I know I'm below prior day's low, right? And I know I'd like, what I like, a green dot to show up, blue dot to show up, and get the rest of the setup. I don't have to rush to decide whether to trade it or not. Overnight unfair. Pullback low, tested. Green dot needs 2 bars up on the 15. But we'll just keep moving on south. Again, this is potential open drive lower. Coming out on the 24 and on the 15, you need the 2 bars up. 1, 2, 1, 2. You've got the purple bar that we need. Now we just have to see if someone wants to save it or not. You know, I've got the 2 bars up. You don't have the arrow. You have the arrow on the second bar over there. The stop is against the low. And I want to remind you, we're in potential open drive lower and in the first 30 minutes. So, yeah, I can wait. So it's got to hold that 88. Just FYI, that's the key. I know once this prints, I'm close to a low, most times. Again, ES has been slowly grinding down, so just keep that in mind. In the first half hour, there's the low, so we'll see if it comes back for a retest. Again, when I see this off that 50 cents, my assumption is we're close to some kind of tradable low. Okay? Not always. It does get broken sometimes, but usually I can get a counter trade out of that trade. This is an attempted trap back into the prior day's low or backside test of the prior day's low, rejection and come out. I don't know which one it is, which is why I'm waiting patiently. And it's Monday. In green, arrow, yellow dot, confirmed, pop. Okay, pink bar right here. Right? I want that method locked in my head. Right? Green dot, confirmed, arrow, yellow, push. For scalps. Now, if you want to arrange it for bigger swings, you got to work off the 24 and the 50 cent. Okay. purple outside the fourth channel. I'm going to keep repeating the same thing till everyone's sick of it. Purple, printed, right? Now I'm looking for a dot over here and over here, and I'm looking for arrows on the no supply, no demand bars. And is this helping, or is everyone got it and I need to be quiet now? Okay, good, Nate. I'll keep going then. Just go left to right. See how those dots will keep rewriting? It's not sufficient just to see it. Purple bar, we already know we're in that area. Right? You gotta have 2 up to confirm it, and then you can start working that ID against it. Most stops come in the first half hour and in the last 30 minutes of the day. Excuse me just a second, I'll be right back. You've got 2 up on the 50 cents. I would expect that to lift from that area. Like I said, usually once you get the 2 up, it'll often backside test the very top of this bar for the lift off to the left. Okay, so there, you should see the rhythm there. I went through this after a conversation with Sean and Bill last night. I went through this in great detail. If you'll follow this rhythm, right, you should see the P&L from it. I'm not doing anything exceptional. I'm just going purple bar, dot, 2 bars, pull back, push. That's what I'm looking for. That's the rhythm, and then you're getting specifics into how you nail in the detail of that trade, but that's basically how it goes. Pink bars. I'm looking for green dots and blue dots. I'm looking for 2 down, and then I'm figuring out how to enter it from there. And you got an indication to go long starting right here. Why is this defaulting back to type 2? There. That's where we got the indication to start going long. So from our swing indicator. And it worked. You'll see again, these dots will move until you get 2 down. This should also work towards reducing your anxiety of pushing the trade or guessing where it's going to turn, right? The worst thing that happens is it just turns without us. One. So if that's a no supply, no demand, arrow, 1, 2, pink bar, and again, you just manage your risk off of that. No supply, no demand. This bar is now valid. Your stop would go up against 28 if you were going to attempt to get it to turn, right? So that's how you would work that. And then look at ES take off. That'd be some comment from somebody somewhere. Now that's going to be, if that prints 24, I would look for a backside test up in the 28. That would be printed, and I would look for potential scalp to the downside, right? That's how I would handle that. And again, we're in the there's no econ, so whatever they're doing or not doing is fine. Now that's printed. Look for a backside test of 28. I'd want 44 to hold, so make sure you adjust for the size of that stop there. Not quite 44, 43 against 29. So make sure you do that correctly, right? So you don't have bad days. And 2 minutes till 9 o'clock. If anyone sees the 4x4 print on the 75-cent chart, if you just give a holler out, that'd be great. The up is not surprising. We got the signal to look for the swing. We got the setup over here, pushed out. The value area low from Friday. And all you want to tell yourself is, we will get the setup. That's all you want to tell yourself. We will get the setup. Pepperoni. Someone had to say something. There's some speaker somewhere. If you probably look on your phone somewhere, you'll see it. Back to the volume point of control. No indication to short. And we are not weak. To the volume point of control, natural target, beautiful rotation up. Yes, on a ripper. The bigger swings will come off the dots on the 50-cent. You have the pink bar up here to give the justification for the potential rollback. That's quite the impulse move. You would, under most circumstances, expect that high to get taken out. long as that holds right there, you should rotate back up and retest this high. Usually when you're short, you do not want to see this right here. And again, why you'd want to be short that impulse move is also, an interesting question. So if you saw 100 of those, 80 of them continue. Right? Some of them do fail. There's no question. Right? And they fail behind the 62 retrace of those, but most of them just keep trucking. And then the other assumption is on summer, you expect the PA to keep being robust and rotating and all that stuff. And the reality is, we may have missed the turn. Right? That may be it for the day. Keep collecting evidence. Right? But don't sit there and go, it's got to pay me. Click, 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 click. Go, it's got to set up. And that made perfect sense. Look, they pushed, right? Can't get below the top of the channel now, right? And what are we expecting? We're expecting this high to get taken out, right? That would be normal. I didn't expect this, but it's set up, right? And once again, people who shorted thinking it was going to roll over, right? Knowing, oh, there's no way they can push it for yet another day, are wrong so far. Blue dot, attempting to form, needs 2 down to make that stick. You do have the pink outside the fourth channel. That's usually a good indication. No one should be getting crushed short here. No one. If you're getting stop after stop right now, pause and reset. There should be no reason for anyone shorting this. We have not gotten a reliable signal yet where it all lined up together. We just haven't. Now, if this prints here, just realize you're going to get a lot of dots right at the prior day's volume point of control because a lot of volume is going to fire off there. Just FYI. Okay. So that blue has now stuck. And if I was going to attempt it, I'd want to attempt it on the backside test of that 84 area. Right there. Right? And my stop would be the high of that thing, whatever that is. So see how it tagged that 84 and rolled down to 75? That's picture perfect execution. It's not the trade I discussed, but I don't want to blast everyone in the morning with different setups, right? But it is the appropriate trade. Okay, it is the appropriate trade. And if I sound relaxed, it's because I'm not looking for the short. I will look for the short when I see that kind of move to the downside versus that kind of move to the upside. I don't want to be on the wrong side of this equation, right? Especially on a Monday in a thin summer market. Like hell. Let someone else figure it out. Why does it have to be me? Or let me show you some evidence of weakness, right? So I've taken out the high right there, right? That's a good sign, right? That's going to give me a potential, right? It's going to give me a potential, but I don't want to sit there and fight this. Right? So I got one, I've got two, I've got three. Okay. Now down, I've got one. Got two, and this down will be three. What am I looking for if I want to go long? I'm looking for the purple bar down to tell me that they're trying to slip it, and I can find a look for continuation to the upside. I'm inside Friday's range. I'm inside unfair pricing. Just going to relax, right? I'm pointing out what I do see is trade a bull, right? But my primary goal today was not to get bearish because I came in finding myself bearish. Like I was like, you look over the weekend and you see all these bearish articles. Like, oh yeah, we've gone up too many days in a row. That's right. Let me look for the short. And the next thing I know, I've had a horrible day. I'm like, what in the hell's going on? So the easy way for me to reduce the noise is to wait for the pink bar, or you can get a pink dot bar with a pink dot down. That's the easy way for me to reduce the noise. I'm going to keep repeating the process over and over. The easy way for me to avoid the noise is to wait for the pink bar down over here. So I'm not in a trading frenzy, right? So this is normally, I would consider this a very good signal right? This arrow with the no supply, no demand. I would expect to be able to get a scalp out of that bar. What don't I have? I want a purple bar down over here so I can know to press that trade. Otherwise, I would treat it just as a scalp, exactly like what happened right there. Okay, so this may only be 5 or 6 points, right? But I'm like, hey, good. I don't have every other piece that I'm looking for, right? I don't have a blue dot over here. I'm not outside the channel. I don't have a purple bar down, which is what I'm looking for. If I choose to trade this, which I consider very strong, right? It is a scalp. Scalp. It's 3 to 5 points. Take your money, cash it in, go home. They've already taken out the high of this swing, so we don't any longer have this, well, they must be willing to drive it up. We have overnight unfair pricing up here, and we really kind of have chop. We have a non-rotational market, particularly in ES, right? Non-rotational market in ES. And that's on a 6-tick, by the way. Now I've got my purple bars. Now I can start looking for my potential setup. This is the backside test of Friday's value area low. I don't go, oh, it's value area low, I'm going to go long. I go, let me see the rest of my setup. Got the blue dot over here. That's great. See how it just shifted from this bar to this bar because it needs 2 bars up. And I chill-a-rama. And if you need everything together, you want that purple bar outside the bottom of this blue channel over here. So see that bar there? That bar is a valid long. Why? I have the blue dot. I have 2 up now. I have the purple bar. I'm looking for the long. Now it's against. So I don't want it to close at 50, basically, is what I don't want to happen. Okay? Might it close at 50? Yup. It might, but I don't want it to. And it did. Okay? So that was aggressive based on that blue bar forming over here, and I'd still be looking for the long up here, right? It was inside the channel. Okay, so why would I be looking for these long? Because this printed, and I know so think about this from an intuitive standpoint. Purple bars, bottom of the channel, blue dot printed on the 50. I know generally I'm looking for a potential turn once all that is printed, right? These are hard to get to print, right? So when I look back, I go, oh, blue bar printed. It should generally roll. Blue dot printed. It should generally roll up. Now I can look for my other excuses to enter a trade. Notice that has nothing to do with bias. It just goes, oh, we're probably going to roll up from there, right? That's what that has to do with, right? Why would now, does it do it every time? No, sometimes it stops out, but it's more rare for that to happen. And then the easiest way to do all of that is to go, get me to the fourth channel, then show me an arrow up with a no supply, no demand bar, which is what we did right, excuse me, here. Chop, 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 chop. Is this all making sense the way I'm describing it, guys? If someone's having problems, now's the time to ask me because the market's not fast, and I'm happy to explain it. I'm speaking specifically to the members in the room. Okay, we can work on that, Dan. So the easiest part is just all you're doing is waiting to get a purple bar over here and mark it off. Then you can just focus on the 15 tick or the 50 cent, right? So the other way to do that was go, I need a purple bar at the fourth channel. Then I look for my signals off the 15 cent. It just takes a little bit of practice. I get that, okay? Or go to your normal setup, right? So think about what's new. This idea isn't new, right? There's nothing new over here, correct? Okay, so that's easy. Compartmentalize that. You don't have to focus on it, right? So now, what is new? Really, what I want you to focus on is get the blue dots and the green dots over here but particularly on the 50 cents. So all I want you to do is, instead of looking at all these charts, right, you already know what your execution chart is. Just wait till you get the blue dots over here on the 50 cent, then go to your smallest chart, whatever you normally execute on, and go, I've got a good chance of this lifting, right? That's how you, does that help simplify the process a little bit? So you make a checklist. This blue dot, do I have 2 bars up? Yeah. I can probably start looking for my scalps to the upside once I have that. And then all you have to decide is whether you want that purple bar to be outside the 4th channel, or if it's okay with you wherever it tends to set up. No, you're not scaling fast enough, brother. You're not scaling fast enough. Right? So maybe you don't have the entry. So I'll call you later, Dan, and I'll go over it with you. But it's not. Let me explain why. Okay, so just slow down for a sec, right? If I'm looking long here, right? If I'm looking long here, I'm already scaling when this thing pops up over here. I'll explain it to you. Once I step through you, I see what you're doing. The problem is, first of all, are you going short or long? Or both? Part of the problem here is there's no range, right? Like, see, we've just gone 1 bar up, 1 bar down. Okay, so the only place you should have been hammering the shorts, right, if you look, was one right over here. That was 8:50 to 9 o'clock. That should have been a no-go zone for you anyways, right? That's a no-go zone. And the next place would have been over here. Does that make sense? And all those arrows down, and then the strongest bar is the arrow down with the no supply, no demand on it. And that was this. Okay, so all we have to do is, I need to send me a picture of of the stops you've taken. I'm positive all it is I need to inch you over to the left or to the right of where you're taking the trades, and we'll fix it. The other thing that I want you to know is, once you have this, right, once you have this and 2 bars down, this bar will usually act as resistance, so you should be able to trade up against that, just like over here, right? Even though you didn't have the signal down, you should have been able to trade against this and taken 1 stop. So now the inverse of that is, this is not the most powerful trade, right? It's not the most powerful trade, but right, if you attempted to say, hey, I took a long against this, right, that's fine. So what's happened here? So what's happened over here, right, is we've just lost all rotation. See that? It's just going 1 bar up. No matter what time frame I kick this in on, I'm going to get stopped too, because it's just going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and the entire range is 44 to 64. So if I need 12 points to get this to trigger, right, and the entire range is 20 points, I've got a problem. And that's why, so don't take a lot of stops. So the first thing I came out with is on Monday morning, don't take a lot of stops, right? Don't take a lot of stops. And your highest odds trades are going to come when the pink and the purple are lining up outside the channel like we are now. And so don't fire away over and over. Just give me till I can get on with you, Dan. And anyone else who needs help, let me know. And I'll take care of it. I'll help you fix the problem. Okay, good. Thank you, sir. I just don't want you to draw down. You've done such hard work. Dan has had a couple of really awesome payouts from Apex. And so my concern for all of y'all, whenever you're in my room, my first concern is if you're drawing down on trades, I don't want that to happen, right? So this should make it easier. Let's just give it a little bit of time and see if we can develop it, okay? Okay, good, Dan. That's good to know. Down 200 is acceptable. And then look at the sweeping, just, hey, we're going to sell it now. Need 2 bars up on this, right? We've got the potential stretches. Here's this is just on a rail ride up and down. So you'll notice I'm not firing just because I see the green dot, right? I'm not firing going, oh, let me jump in. I do have long indications now from the swing indicator, right? What am I looking for? 2 bars up, arrows up with no supply, no demand, and I know I'm kind of in a tricky environment, right? Straight up, straight down. Straight up, straight down. So I know this is printed. If this prints right here, I'd want a backside test of that 96 area. Right, so if it'll come into 96, which it did not, right? And I know generally now that I have this print, right? So listen what I'm going to say. Generally, we're in a weird market because it's just going straight up and straight down, right? But now that I have this print, I know generally I'm in an area where I would look for potential reversals. What do I want? I want this bar on the first or second bar. I just didn't get it there. That's okay. I'm not trying to capture every turn. And also notice I'm not drawing any conclusions like, oh, this has to be short, or oh, this is going to short the backside test of prior day's low. I'm literally letting the machine tell me where to start taking the trades, right? So I'm not getting blown out on just regular retail areas that are just being traded by other traders. And then I just susceptible to, does everyone decide we want to participate on that or not? Green arrow down, pink bar up, right? I'd want to retest of the 20 against 33 roughly, right? If this prints 1475 first, or I can trade green dot, yellow down, right? Green dot, yellow down, right? My stop would be roughly 10 points against 18. And if you're not waiting for that 24 to print, you have to be able to sustain that stop, right? Again, in order for this to stick, I need 2 down, backside test of this bar, or this area becomes my resistance point. And I'm not outside the channel, although I do have a pink bar, and I can't tell you whether we're long or short. We're just sitting there testing prior day's low. This is the second time they're trying to drop against it. I'll just give them time to work it out. It's Monday, right? I believe this is called Monday in most places. Anyone else having a difficult time following what I'm explaining, this is the time to go, guys, because on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is Make Money Day, right? So Monday's a good day to explain day. Fire away. You will not bother me. If I had to choose one day of the week to take off, it would be this. $50.60 back. Again, if I'm looking for the long here, what I want is the purple bar. The purple bar precedes everything to tell me, hey, I'm looking for that long. Now I just need a little bit of luck to get everything to line up, right? I'm not guessing where it should turn. I'm not demanding that it turns. We're retesting Globex low. Notice ES is not, as of yet, rolling with it. Right? And notice I'm not saying, oh, this level should hold, that level should hold, other than to say when I have this green dot, now that I got this green dot, I would have changed my mind, right? I want those to come far apart and it's an indicative a little bit of the amount of choppiness. So now, like, see this bar here? I would say we should lift a little bit off of that. But I don't have all the rest of the pieces that I'm looking for, right? I would say we should lift off of that, right? But I didn't get anything to retest in there, to let me enter cheaply, all that stuff that I usually want, right? I would like it to test into this bar. Again, one of the things I've been pointing out. Sean, are you in the room? Are you seeing how many of these? This goes back. Sorry, this is a separate conversation I'm having with Sean, so it won't make sense. 1, 2, 3, right? So that's why I'm saying something's up with the way we were programming this thing. Something's not firing correct. It's not like I'm making it up out of the blue, right? 4, right? So you asked me to show you exactly what I was talking about, right? I'm showing you. 5. Those should be paying us on that auto programmer. Something's wrong, whether I'm describing it wrong or we're programming it wrong. That's the ones I want to be taking. That should be firing and paying us. So we can discuss it later, but you asked me to show you. Okay. I agree with the long. And nice job on the long, buddy. It's all right, Randy. Just get the next one. No big deal. I didn't get it either, if it helps. I was busy talking. See how when you don't have anything, you just relax. You don't have to catch every little inch, every little turn. When you get arrow up, arrow up, arrow up, arrow down, back to back, it's a very powerful signal. I would not stay short that. I mean, I would not stay long against that, just FYI. We're looking for just little nuggets here and there, little nuggets here and there that'll help us figure out our trades. $9.41. What am I waiting for? Blue and green dots. I've got the purple bar outside the point of control. Now for the rest of the pieces to fall in place. No guessing, not necessary. We're now underneath Friday's low. Just as a reminder, they've tried 2 times to trap back in and failed. Notice I am not guessing where this thing's going to turn. I'm looking for a controlled signal. I'm looking for a dot. The dots, when we're ripping straight down, really help you. They keep you from going on tilt too when they're getting slammed to the downside. no dot. We need this pink bar to be down here. It does not capture every turn. It is not designed to. Pressing the low of the day on NQ. New low of the day. They tried pretty hard to reverse it. We got to get back above 18,864 right now. That's on the 4x4. What a difference between NQ and ES. That may be also a flight to safety, just FYI. Getting the long indicator fire up over here. No blue dots telling me to look for the long. So I got half the formula. I'm outside the channel, and I've got the purple bar. Just need the rest of the formula. Saving us tons of money from guessing where the turn is coming. Green dots lighting up. Be ready. It's got to be 2 bars or it just keeps going. See? Oh, great. Thank you, Leandro. That's helpful. Oh, ES decides to join the party. Green dot will keep moving right along with the market until it gets 2 bars up. Then you know you have an area. So that bar right there, right, against the low, is pretty good. right? That against the low is usually pretty good. We'll see. There's pink up, bar, and what we would hope for, and what I will try, is a long against that 36, bidding 36. Got it. Now that's against that low, so that 36 goes against 20, right? So size it properly. Size it properly. Take a scale at 46. Again here, backside the first bar, there's the pink bar up, and lift. There's 46 scale. Flat market 53. Just wanted to demonstrate it all out. Anyone else get it? Oh, thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill. Just follow the process. This is, I really truly believe, the most evolved, precise part of the process we have ever had. And it should save us from getting ripped on trend days down, and should give us the opportunity we're looking for to get long. And then it'll give you time to evolve your read. And it'll certainly help us from getting face smashed on those, 93 to 820 rips down, when you're trying to constantly get long or constantly get short. And then what will happen for y'all is once y'all evolve getting the entry down, you'll figure out where your swings come from and where they don't come from, and whether you want to try to participate with them or not. So it's 10 minutes till the top of the hour. This is a stop and chop area anyways. I'm going to take a break. Let me make sure everything is flat here. Close position. Okay, there we go. I'll be back in just a little bit. Green dot, arrow down on yellow, no supply, no demand bar, roll to the downside. Backside testing prior day's low. Wide ranging balance. But the rotations are good. green dot, orange bar down, extension for scalp, and you're also set up for potential squeeze. Again, I will attempt this short at 1850 against the high. 1850 against the high, or you could have taken it on the yellow bar down on 15. I've got the green dot. I've got a pink bar on the way up. Got a pink bar down. I just need this to test either over here or you're short here and you've already scalped out your risk and you're going to try and push for the roll down, or you're going to wait for the long to set up. Those are your three choices. And guys on YouTube, I'm going to shut it down now for the day. Leandro and others, thank you who joined. If you'd like to visit the room, just simply email TrADenPerform@gmail.com and I will be happy to hook y'all up. I hope y'all had a good day. I think most people in the room did have a good day, and we certainly knew what we were doing. So, talk to you later. If you liked the video, by the way, I'd really appreciate the thumbs up. It does something for the algorithm. So, have a great day, guys. See y'all.